actually get another LaCroix?
Yeah. All right. I think we're streaming, which is good.
It's good for me.
Too much on your face. It's all right. Cool. Well, we'll give it a go. We'll see how it does.
Cool. We're here.
Well, hello, patrons.
We made it.
We did. I hope you're doing very well. I hope you've had a lovely day. I hope you're in a great mood. I hope you ate some great food. I hope you're a rad dude.
Is that a little projection on the mood thing?
Yeah, I've been so moody. I don't know what to do about it. I feel like some alien got in my body and just started pulling levers.
Isn't that a weird feeling?
It's so weird.
Isn't it weird that we don't have control over our moods or anything?
Weird. And that how much mood dictates the way you'll be, or like your general baseline. How hard you're gonna have to fight to be a good person that day. You know,
I feel like that's like the basis of substance and drug abuse and food. You just want to feel good. So I don't right now. My mood sucks. So I'm gonna do this thing that will make my mood better for a minute, and then there's always a huge consequence.
Yeah, I think that there's that's definitely the reason drugs exist. Is it's us once again attempting to exercise control over something that we ultimately can't, and that's why drugs usually end badly, because they work at first and then they don't, and you're no longer in control. But now you need the drug to just feel okay, and it's unbearable to not have the drug.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. I also have this suspicion that, like, I don't know. I guess you don't know what to trust. But when you're in a bad mood, it's like, is there something I should be doing? Is there a reason I feel this way? Like, is there some stone left unturned in my life that causing this?
You're right. You're right. And I think that oftentimes there's not.
It's like, is your body trying to tell you something? Like, yo.
Well, in your body's defense, that is a way that your body would tell you. That is the way it would tell you. Pretty much the only way.
Yeah.
But I think that, I don't know. I think you just sometimes work with, there are so many other things that we can't control, that we can't see and we're unaware of. You know, like, what if, do you ever wake up like on a, I would say a rainy day, but it doesn't necessarily need to be. But like you wake up on a day and you just feel like here in New York or whatever, or wherever you are, like a general energy around you that you know is not coming from you.
Yeah, of course. I feel that all the time.
So I feel like we're always affected by that. And that's something we're not even aware of. It's not even on our radar. So like maybe if you just have like a weird mood swing, that could be a factor, you know? But we're like, oh, I think that's where we get hard on ourselves. So, oh, my body's I must do something right now. It's like maybe not. I don't know. We don't know.
There's this one thing that I just thought about. Like when I started feeling like kind of moody. I just came back from my therapy appointment. Felt great. Felt great going to it. Felt great coming back. And I came here and Jeff were here like organizing stuff. Now, I'm so grateful to have this space, and Jeff's a sublet. And Jeff was very proactive in bringing his stuff here, and like he's very
Jeff is not me in this case.
Not you.
Right.
No.
I don't think that they knew that. That's the only thing. Because I actually thought you were talking about me.
Oh,
at first.
Did you? I'm sorry. I should have clarified. Yeah. So, no, Jeff's a buddy of ours who he's subletting the studio a couple nights a week, and I had realized like I was starting to feel like overwhelmed because he's really good at organizing his stuff and like putting it away, and he's really handy and fast and he's sharp at doing that. And I'm like, I felt like I was just floundering trying to like fix things. Well, I couldn't tell what came first, but like the lack of clarity made it hard to make decisions. Or I felt like it felt like I was moving into my apartment for the first time, or moving into a house, but I was also just going to sublet that house for like a couple nights a week to a guest. And that guest moved all their stuff in and put all their stuff on the walls before I put my stuff on the walls. But it was my house.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, that would be...
It'd be like weird. It's like a weird feeling like, wait, I don't know if that's what I want to happen. Like...
Well, that's a big deal.
But here's the thing is like, at the end of the day, I don't exactly know what I want. I haven't thought it through. So I can't make the objection in real time because it's like, wait, I don't know what I want yet, so don't do that. It's like, the rationale is that I had was like, oh, why don't just do what you're doing? Because like it's helpful, it's cleaning, it's organizing. And just because I haven't really given thought to how I want things, like I can always change things. You know what I mean? Like I can always be like, hey man, look, so now I'm figuring out what I need. Like I actually need this to be more like that.
Right.
And I'm in a perfectly fine position to do that, because Aunt and I pay the lion's share of the rent here,
Right.
and it's like, it's mainly our place right now until our other partner gets back in March. So I remember feeling like sensitive about that and not really knowing how to express that, or if I should even, it's just like, and then it brought up all these insecurities, just like look at how like well he knows what to do with his stuff. You don't even know where any of your stuff is. Like you don't even know what to do. Like you're sitting here like, should I screw this curtain rod up? And it just feels like
kind of like it's kind of like you have a certain process. Everyone has their own process, and it's kind of like you didn't have room for your process to flourish naturally. It's kind of interrupted.
It felt like it was kind of just stifled unexpectedly. Like I would have come here like maybe just me, or turned on some tunes and just like started like figuring stuff out, and that's like my zone,
right? And
instead of like we're kind of tripping over each other. Everyone's got their stuff everywhere. Stuff is moving constantly. Like nothing is ever in the place it was 10 minutes ago, so it's just this very chaotic environment. So maybe that made me feel like, and then, or maybe I was in a bad mood, and because I was in a bad mood, I wasn't emotionally equipped to handle that. Cause that doesn't seem like that seems like a really weak thing to be like bent out of shape about. Like not saying that it shouldn't bother me. Like, it's understandable, right?
Well, it would bother me.
But would it make me so, like, would it make my brain swell and shut down? And would it make me kind of just feel, like, irritated? Like, I don't understand. I don't think, I don't know what to blame it on. And I'm exasperated with the whole thing because my whole life I've been trying to look under the hood and figure out, like, how this whole human thing works, and it's just realizing more and more like, damn, you have no idea. You just have no idea what's going on with you. And you don't know what to trust about it. All you can do is take whatever thoughts you're having, and whether you feel like it or not, make them positive. That's all you can do. It's the only control you can exercise. So if you're in a bad mood and you're having terrible thoughts, is not feed them, because I've observed that all that does is makes it way worse.
Well, what about the people that can't control that even,
What do you mean?
Well, mental illness, like so what you're saying is all you can control.
I don't think we know enough about mental illness to deduce that definitely people who are mentally ill have absolutely no control over what they do with their thoughts.
But what I'm saying is that could also be a possibility. And it could be, for instance, just not for your sake.
No, but I'm saying it's devil's advocate. It is not, there's no evidence to suggest that the cause of mental illness isn't that people have thoughts that are bad and they just listen to them. And they just keep doing that instead of confronting them with positive a positive way to battle them, to flip them from negative bad thoughts into positive thoughts. There's no evidence to suggest that mental illness isn't just people who just never fought that fight ever and descended into the darkness of their own minds despair and until they couldn't climb out again. So I don't know what the point of me saying that is, other than I need to believe
I see
that it's important to fight whatever battle you can.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. You don't want, sure. I get that you don't want to make an excuse for why you're not doing it, because maybe it doesn't really.
Because then you're telling me I'm
exactly.
helpless. You know, there's like, oh, you're just
that's
fucked,
not
man.
what I
yeah.
That's not what I meant.
I know
to
that's
say.
not what you mean, but that's like for me, it's like I can't run out of options here. Like I need to know I can still fight this somehow with some sense of sense. You know?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, you're talking about it.
Yeah, and it helps.
You're still fighting.
It helps. I'm still fighting. It's a fight. But anyways, patrons, thanks for listening to that. We are getting excited. We're kind of beta testing our podcast setup, which is going to be coming to you very soon. And depending on how this goes, maybe we'll send you this sample video that's lit really shitty in our very dirty studio.
Yeah, why not send it?
But yeah, we'll see what happens, right? But we want to talk to you about Love on the Land.
Oh, yeah.
This month's Patreon song.
I like this song a lot.
I do too. And there's a couple reasons why.
Was there a but, or was it more of a thoughtful, here's why I like
thoughtful,
it?
Here's why.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, like all of our ideas and how they come to fruition, I have no idea how they're going to turn out. And I'm usually surprised because when we apply the process to it, the results usually are pleasant. I usually really like them. What's interesting is, I've been talking a lot about trying to be, about cultivating more positive thoughts and about the power of trying to elevate your mood so that you feel pleasant, so you can be more easily pleasant to others and to yourself as well, because you're kinder to yourself, which is important. You're more productive. You feel like more is possible, and you're willing to do more. You're willing to face more because you feel strong and like things are going to work out. It's okay, right? So part of me has been thinking on the responsibility of an artist, at least of me. I can't say of an artist. I'm not going to make this about anyone else other than me. Is that okay? This is about me.
I think that's what I like about talking to people.
Yeah. So for me, I can't, now that I've seen the fruit of saying positive things, having positive thoughts, and what that does for me in my life, and then seeing what it does for the people in my life who encounter me when I'm in that better state, how much more I can give to them and how much better that makes me feel to be able to do that, and seeing how much better it makes them feel to receive that, and then how they then in turn will turn and give that light forward as well. Like it's like a domino effect.
Right.
Well, the same thing happens with darkness and negativity. So when you're not fighting to be a proponent for hope and faith that things will work out and that, you are capable of overcoming the things life throws at you, at least you can go down swinging, and swinging and smiling, so to speak, that's being extreme, but you know what I mean? Like you can face it. You have the courage to face it, and you're not cowering away in resentment and being like, well, life's just terrible and cruel and there's nothing I can do about it. And,
it's a hellish joke.
Yeah. It's so seeing how when I'm negative and seeing how negative people have made me feel horrible. And then when I feel gross, I'm spreading my grossness to other people. I'll be short with strangers. It's like, who are you? I don't care. Especially in New York, it's so easy to be calloused here. Well, I've been really trying not to be calloused. I look at all the faces I pass now, and I think about those people when I pass them, and I wish them well consciously. And I do that as a practice, and it makes me feel good when I do that. And all this has kind of been like eye-opening to me, like this experiment of trying this. And now I feel like in my music and in my creations, I feel like that same thing needs to happen now. Like I need to be a little more conscious about what I put out into the world through the creations. Like, it can't just be like, whatever storm my soul conjures, that I shall bestow upon you, world. You know, it can't be like that anymore.
I've known some people like that.
I know. There's a lot of people in the world who can be like that, but there's a lot of people who aren't. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know you know what I mean. So,
there's a twinkle in my eye.
There is a twinkle in your eye, yes. And so now I'm thinking, as I'm about to pen the lyrics for the song, that I want to write songs that leave people with a better feeling instead of confirming things they might dislike or feel.
Okay, I see what you mean. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't quite know how to ask this, so I'll clumsily ask this question and then we'll get there. But do you think that may be sacrificing an honest human experience? Because you're not always going to feel the way you want to project, and that's what art is about. It's like, express that, because in expressing how you feel, that in and of itself is a healing.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you talk to a friend about something you're going through, or sometimes that's all you need and things are better. Sometimes all you might need is to express that thing, and the people who enjoy that art or are looking at it are that person that's listening to you, you know?
I think that's a great question. I think it's just an extension of it would be just an extension of who I am, which, like, when I'm going through a hard thing, which I've been through plenty, and I intend to write about them, but I intend to write about them not in a woe is me way, because I myself do not agree with woe is me. Like, I might feel like woe is me sometimes, but no one wants to be around woe is me, and it's not good for humanity to be like, woe is me. It's terrible for humanity for you to pity yourself, and it's terrible for me to pity myself. So instead of pretending like I don't have pain, I can sing about the pain, but sing about it in a way that is hopeful and reinforcing the good nature of and privilege of being alive, and the privilege of being able to experience good and bad. But to experience, period, is a blessing, and to have adopt that posture that's a posture I'm trying to adapt in my life. So I want that to manifest through in my art too. I don't want to write songs like, I'll give you an example of something that may be like Needle and Thread. Now, I know a lot of people resonate with that song, and I wrote that song like 12 years ago. Yeah. But it's pretty much a woe is me pity party. It's a you done me wrong song. Look at how horrible this thing that happened to me is, and that's the end of the story. Now, if you went to a theater to see that movie, you would leave halfway through and be like, this is depressing.
Well, maybe you would. Here's what I actually know what you're saying, and I'm thinking that, like, okay, so like, if we can compare our music that we write to the Bible, it's a good one, right?
Wow.
There's a book in the Bible called Ecclesiastes. Most of the New Testament, there's a lot of horrible stuff that happens, but it's painted in this light that God has his best interest. Wow, this life is life. It's shitty. It's horrible. It's everything. But there's a way to live, and there's a God there for you if you want him to be and believe him, Then there's this book, Ecclesiastes, where he does the exact opposite, and it rains down on Job. And that's not a happy book to read.
Right.
It's actually like, I like that book. It's very different. It's a very honest experience. It is a woe is me. Very much woe is me.
I think that God in that narrative also corrects Job's woe is me-ness, though. He gives him a strong rebuke at the end of that story. He says, where were you when I laid the earth's foundations? Tell me if you know. How many stars did I put into the sky? It's a rebuke of, it's a woe is me is there's a lack of humility in woe is me. There's something that's that feels entitled to better.
But it's almost like he's saying, woe is you, you're nothing, you know?
Well, it's because Job is throwing his fist in the sky
Right.
at God in this book, in this story.
Rightfully so.
Well,
I mean,
maybe
if this it's a story,
yeah, I mean,
but
like,
God was intentionally doing
really,
this, you know?
I'm a little out of my element here because I don't exactly know what the true meanings and intentions were of the writers of that story, what the moral was, because it's an odd narrative where you have, God also like kind of makes a deal with the devil, like, yeah, go on, throw a bunch of shit at him. He'll stay faithful to me because he knows that,
But he did stay faithful.
And he did. And I don't know how it ended. Did he get anything for that? Was there any reward?
He, everything that was taken away from him, like his family, he had a big family.
Yeah.
He got back.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
But a new family. He still has the loss of his wife and all of these children he loved. Just like, well, here's another one.
So here's the thing, though. That's just all that is a description of life. That's all that narrative is. Like, you love things a lot and you can't imagine living without them, and then they're taken from you. And you have to figure out what you're going to do about it. Are you going to take it out on the rest of the world, or are you going to posture yourself with humility and say, this is life. Everyone has to deal with this. I'm going to carry on courageously, and I'm going to still see the good. And through that, I'll be given more new things I love.
Right.
Things will be made new in my life. And that I think is one of the core lessons that story is meant to tell. I think that when you stay like, woe is me, I'll just say this. I've spent enough time in woe is me.
That's fair. Because what I was thinking, like, for me, like, if I have a woe is me moment, like, and I know this is not what you meant.
Yeah.
It's just how it landed in my brain.
I'm going to get a LaCroix, so keep talking. I hear you.
Basically, it's kind of like saying, I feel like woe is me right now, and I just kind of want to, and I, of course, don't want to leave people with that and be like, now you feel this. But there's almost this rule that I can't express this honestly right now unless I frame it in a way that's like, I'm not always woe is me, and life is, know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that sounds familiar for me too.
It's like you're doing a snapshot of just right now I'm feeling like this. You're only getting this part of the story.
If I suffered something that shook me to my bones, like, of course that's what I'm going to write about. Like, if something happens to me that I just don't understand, because that's what it happened. That's what it is, being shaken to your bones. Is something happens to you and you just don't understand it. That's like, I don't know. That's different than what was me. That's like searching. That's being lost and searching for what the heck's going on, And so I guess Needle and Thread was a bit of that, because that's where I was when I wrote that song. And maybe I'm a little too quick to condemn and judge myself. And
I think that's moreover like where I was getting at with it. I think that line of thinking for me, it helped. It kind of made me think like, well, now it's almost like I'm putting this rule on myself that I can't honestly express what I'm feeling because someone's going to hear that. And then like, now they're going to feel what I'm feeling. Right. Which I see the truth in that as well. Just kind of like, but what do you do then? What if like when you're writing the song, like the most badass chord and melody and lyric just makes sense in this woe is me thing, and it's perfect. Like, perfect meaning like you love it, you dig it so much.
Yeah.
But it's because of where it came from and how it's constructed. Why not leave it alone? It's honest. And now if all of your records, all of your songs are woe is me, woe is me, woe is me.
Yeah.
That's just like, all right.
And
someone call the fucking ambulance.
Yeah. So okay, that helps me to refine my point. That's good. Those are all good things. Okay, so my refined point after conversation is I will continue to be authentic with who I am and what I'm feeling. And I hope that my practice is true, and most of that will be more inspiring, will inspire more people to fight through their stuff as well, because I want to live my life so the narrative is redemptive. I don't want it to be oppressed,
Right.
So So, and I want that, hopefully, if I live that truly, if I can walk that walk in truth, I can write that honestly. And so part of that, so back to the song, Love on the Land, you know, it's just a simple song about my relationship with my wife and what it is. And it's a snapshot into, like, I go away for gigs and I miss her. And there are some people like, oh man, that's hard how you're away. Some people are like, oh, that's cool that you guys worked that out and you're so cool with that. Regardless of what anyone says, it's, for my experience of it is I love my wife, but I still miss her, and I know she misses me, and that's part of life. It's like, in order to allow each other to be who we are, we have to endure a little bit of that for each other. A little bit of that. You know, she's gone right now. She's, down in Nashville. She's been gone for a week. And, it's just the price we pay to give each other the freedom that we each deserve as human beings, And that only inspires giving each other that freedom and honoring each other. That really, like, inspires love. It really does. And a genuine, like, well-wishing of the other person.
Well, yeah, you're giving room for each other to be yourself.
Yeah.
Because, especially in, the way you guys, your relationship, if you didn't leave room to miss each other, well, there'd be great sacrifice on either or both of your parts to the core of who you are as a person, like, yeah, it's like you wouldn't be able to travel as much as you wanted to, and vice versa. But now it's like, well, of course, I'm going to miss you.
Yeah.
And that's part of life, and I'm going to sit with that.
Yeah.
And of course, then you get in, like, as long as, like, even, and you guys have a certain, relationship and work that stuff out. But, yeah, it's all about leaving room for that person that you love to be that person you love.
Yeah.
With or without you, physically. With or without you.
Yeah. And I suppose the thrust of the chorus is basically a proclamation of devotion, like, and reunification after being away, and how powerful that moment is in my marriage. Like, when it sounds like I'm getting choked up, but there's just like a burp stuck.
I've been choking burps this whole time. It's got to be a little quiet. I drink seltzer water.
It's really powerful though. Like, being away from each other is important for us, and we can offer each other new things that we found, on our own. But if we stay forever yoked, like, together in this, like, wherever you go, I have to be there, then like you become boring to each other, because what are you discovering? What are you going out and discovering to come bring back to me?
Entertain me.
That's part of the function of our social roles, like, that's why charm and charisma are attributes that are favorable, because it's entertaining.
Yeah.
People love being charmed. That's what charming is, like, when a charming person enters the room, you just want them to talk because it's so entertaining. They're just saying all the great things in such a great way, and they walk the right way, and they look the right way, and they smile the right way, and it's like, wow, this is cool. What an experience this person is, And
that's what most people say about me.
Anyway,
no, it's true. I agree with that.
That's what the song's about. We should listen to the demo.
Let's do it.
I had no idea what the heck I was going to write the song about when we did this demo, though. Actually, can you cue it up there? I don't want to putz around on your phone.
I was on Facebook here, which I'm never on.
Farcebook?
Yeah, Fartsbook. Going to Dropbox. Okay, here we go. This song was written at the same session as Ladybug.
Oh, we'll go turn the stereo so we can hear it better.
Oh, okay.
They can hear it.
You can hear it right now, guys. Okay, well, this song was back in January 2018. We were at a retreat up in Jesus, like I was gonna say Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and that was the same session we did.
Was that Pennsylvania that we did this, or was it upstate?
I can't remember. I know what it was with they had the chickens and the eggs. I went and got the eggs.
That was great. That was New York.
That was New York.
I think that was New York.
Yeah, hey, it was way out there.
That was a fun house.
Oh yeah, and they had this spring in the back, a fresh spring, where we got our water. Paranoia was here in New York.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
What the heck else came out of this?
I think it was just those three, honestly.
What was the third one?
Ladybug, Never Done, and this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep. This obviously is timing-wise, a cluster. I don't even know how to really time it. Do you? I mean, how did you count it to like make a skeleton for it?
You mean when I was writing the melody?
Yeah, or like when you're in Pro Tools, can you tell like what measures? You know what I mean? Like, does it measure it out? Do you have to like
honestly
plan it out that way? You
I'm pretty lazy with that. So like when I import it, I have the tempo, and if the meters keep changing, like I don't mark all the meters and time changes. I just put it at like 1/4, so it's just bet.
Yeah,
you know, and then it's just it's
so you don't have to
tempo. I just don't. It's not worth my time to do that. So
yeah,
I really don't think in music in that way. When I hear a cool feel, I don't need to define it as much as just feel it and understand and feel how it is, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I was going to bring up Peter Gabriel because that song Salisbury Hill is in 7/8, and it feels so good. And I remember in one of our bands we were trying to cover it, and I was trying to learn it, and I realized like, what is going on here? I had to actually then I had to count it because I was like, oh, it's not in 4/4. That's so strange. And also bringing up Peter Gabriel, this was I always envisioned this song being kind of like in that vein because he does some wild time signatures with these beautiful soaring melodies that fit somehow, you know?
Yeah.
And I love the chorus on the guitar, like the chorus effect on the guitar. It's so cool.
Yeah, I think that we'd made some decisions creatively with the song and the production that were unexpected, and I really am happy about it. I loved all the stuff Johnny did. I really like working with John on his guitar parts. Like, each time I work with him, he's like better at like hearing like the right thing. You know,
yeah, that's cool.
I told him, I was like, man, you're like years alone. You know, like he's just from the beginning to now, it's like the fruit of his persistence and his desire for excellence. It's great.
Yeah.
That's inspiring, you know.
He's great, man. I've played with him, you know, just in Kindo, I don't know. I don't even know how many, but with the John Bob Trio alone, even before he was involved in Kindo, we've played, it has to be in the thousands, Johnny and I have gigs we've played together. I don't know. It seems like
it's a lot.
Yeah, but over the course of 5 years, maybe that's
I would have to play almost every day for more than, that would mean like, for it to be over 1,000, it was 365 days a year. And you would need at least 3 years of playing every day to get to 1,000.
Okay, so we've probably played at least a few hundred. Wow. Yeah. It seems, that's so finite. That it seems like it's more than that. Anyways, I played with him so much, and I've seen him grow. He's just becoming a master.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I always imagine this song, I don't know why, because it's not this type of song, but when I hear it, I always envision us playing this on like a late night television show or something.
This one?
Yeah. I have no idea why.
It's got a,
it's like
lyrically, I wanted it kind of to the point I was saying earlier, like I really want, not just lyrically, like if I'm like writing a diary, you know, this is exactly how I'm feeling. It needs to be in a way that's still fun and still light. And when people listen to our music, I don't want people to feel closed off from the world. I want them to feel like nice and lighter.
Yeah.
You know? And so I was kind of conscious when I was writing these lyrics. It's like, and a lot of them are honest. Like they're very honest, but I just write them. I don't know. The meter and the phrasing kind of lent itself to like.
Funny how that it's kind of what I was talking about. Like when you have an idea, because of how the timing and the phrasing of it works, you might have to mend a couple words or two that is still honest, but not. It's always interpreting, you know.
Yeah.
From the moment you even put a thought down, it's interpreting it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It's weird that it's actually, I always wonder what happened to this tune because, you know, we wrote this song way back in January. So it should have been like, what I don't remember.
I was afraid of it.
You really were?
Well, yeah, because the phrasing was so, it was really tough. I just honestly, I just was afraid of it. And then when I faced it, it was like, cool, I can do this. But I wasn't confident I could write a melody that was compelling enough over such a difficult syncopation, you know?
It's wild. The whole time I was like so pumped to hear what you'd come up with because I was like,
well, maybe
because
I think that was part of it because I could hear how put together as good as I hope it will be. I think you know, sometimes I wish I would have made some different choices in the second verse. And to be fair,
still can.
Yeah, it still can. I really like. Maybe we'll close with this because we've had a long day.
Yeah, we're fading.
Yeah, we're fading here. What's the writing process? And it's so intense. I don't know if you've heard him talk about it.
I heard that he, for one of his books, he rewrote like every sentence in that book 15 times.
Maps of Meaning.
Maps of Meaning.
His
Is that
big fat like opus, right? It was like the first giant book he wrote. Very dense. It took him, he like rewrote each sentence that many times. And basically, like just to kind of put it in a nutshell, is you keep rewriting it until you can't tell whether or not it's better than the last thing you tried. And that's when you know you've reached your limit of.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And so
that puts me in a whole world of like, kind of, no, you're right.
That's the method.
You're right. Yeah.
Once you can't tell anymore, it's like, let me do this. And then you hear it back. And if there's like if there's a tinge of dissatisfaction in it, it's like, then you should do it again. Until when you do it again, it's not it's not giving you a different or better feeling than you were already getting. Then you know, okay,
Right.
That's as good as it's going to get.
So what do you do like if you're like in a band with other people? Like there's a certain amount of forgiveness for the greater good that I exercise. Cause like there's nothing I hate and there's not even anything in other tunes where I'm like, nope, I'm sad that's there.
Well, what do you mean? Like give me a specific example.
Well, like, I don't know. I feel like all of our tunes we could have done better, you know, like,
but that's not specific. That's really vague.
Okay. Specifically,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like a really good one.
What's a moment in our recordings where you hear where you hear like, it's hard. Hindsight's always 20/20. So that's kind of cheating.
That's probably it. That's probably more
Hindsight's
what it is,
20/20.
yeah.
So it's way easier to criticize your past.
And you know
self.
what? And doing Patreon has allowed us to have like, at least for the songs after Happy However After. And even with that, we got to go back and redo them. We actually have that process where we can go back and as a band and make it better if we want. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's what I mean. So it's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah. My main point was implementing that practice is a choice, but the fruit's there to be had. And part of what's difficult about it is, you know, if you're really going to open up yourself to, if you want to be great at anything, we'll even say this: if you want to be potentially great at anything, because there's no guarantee you'll be good enough to be, of note. But like, I feel like when we revisit this stuff, I personally need to comb through everything and just be like, could this be better? Could this be better? Could this be better?
Yeah, that's like,
and if I can think of something else to try, I should try it. If after like 2 tries, it's not actually feeling better, then I know, oh no, this is actually as good as it's going to get.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
It's like, could I do better?
Could I do better?
Given more time?
Given more time.
Absolutely.
If I give like, while we're refining it, it's like the whole point of the refining is like, okay, let's scrutinize it. What feels weak? And energy, like those are all things you're spending to refine your shit. So,
it's kind of like, moreover, I think it was more of the fear of exercising my perfection, my mind where I'm too hard on myself. Cause like, like if I'm rehearsing guitar or something and something feels pretty good, I'm like, it could be a lot better. It's like, well, yeah, it could, but you have a show tonight. So you have to move on,
Yes. That's different.
Right.
Writing is different than rehearsing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
The creation is very much like there's a due date, but also you can kind of determine knowing the due date, like the maximum, the best you can do considering all variables. And you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think then I will take back what I said, because I agree with you. And I think that for myself, for the most part, I do feel like that with our Kendo tunes.
Yeah, I feel like
because at the time that was the best.
I don't know if I had more. I don't know. As I'm saying this, it's like it's a paradox because when I'm talking about this, I'm thinking about things I've done in the past. But as we had established, hindsight is 20/20. So it's
that's exactly where my brain went.
You can't use that lens to criticize your past. It's only useful in the present. So as you're creating, when you write a sentence or you play a line, right? Mm-hmm. You can only in that moment can you say, can this line be better? And then only in that moment can you try something else.
Yeah.
And only in that moment can you decide whether or not you think it's better or not, or whether or not
and you
can
can't
tell.
go back. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But you can't go back in time. Yeah. So, and it's a choice made in the present, and I think it's an attitude and a commitment that you make to the excellence of your craft. That's
right.
The common denominator amongst all the masters of craft is a commitment to excellence, a commitment to, I will do this. When I create something, I'm going to make it absolutely the best I can using this specific methodology so that anything I create at any given moment is literally the best thing I could have possibly done in that moment. And you do that by, in the moment, everything you do, it's like, like if an artist is considering, when an artist is painting, like you don't want to, and here's the other thing, it seems like it can't be too heady, it can't be too intellectual, because you'll disrupt the flow, and the flow is important. So when you're in flow, if an artist is in flow and they're like about to pick a color for the next thing, they might mix the color together, and like as they're mixing it, they're seeing it and they're falling in love with that color. I think it's still like, is there any way I can improve? And if you really don't, if you don't hear any voice listen, voice. It's not a voice that's like wagging its finger at you. It's like your muse saying, I feel like you could do a little better. Like you did really good over here. This one's really good. That's pronto, or that's quality.
It's interesting.
But this with yourself when you,
because I mean, like sometimes where I was just talking about this with you, like about everything in my apartment I love. And if I don't love it, it's soon going to not be there and replaced, or just that thing doesn't need to be there. And it's a process. It's kind of like it's always growing. I love it, but I'm very OCD about it, and everything I have has a place. And so anyway, I've just lazy, and we'll walk into my house with my shoes on, and I realized that my floors are always dirty. And I'm like, man, and I don't have the time to clean them a lot because I'm always on the go. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to really clean these floors, and then I'm not wearing my shoes in the house, and I need like slippers, whatever. And my brain goes, great, but you can't get those slippers until you find those slippers you love. And I know the process. To find those slippers I love, I would have to go to like 4 stores, find one that like just like spoke to me. And then I also had the voice, but you can get slippers now, so you don't have to go through this process again. And you'll know some slippers that you have are better than no slippers.
Yes.
It's weird.
That's a refinement process.
Right?
You improved on the thought. Because your first thought was a thought, but it wasn't your best thought. Right? Like the better thought was, oh, I could get just some slippers now and get the ones I really love later. That way, I can keep a clean floor, have slippers, and get the slippers I want all together, like eventually. That's a better thought. And you can judge, like, I should listen more to that thought than the first one.
Right.
The first thought won't yield the best result.
Because if I don't have slippers, what will happen is that I will
keep your shoes on.
I'll fall back.
Drag shit
exactly.
In the house. Yeah. No, you're right. That's a great example, actually. That's perfect.
I'm perfect. You're perfect. Guys, you're perfect. Freaking have been supporting us on Patreon. You're the perfect ones.
So wonderful. So wonderful you people are.
Little perfect patrons.
So grateful we are. It's humbling to talk to you in this way. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, we're 2 years into this. When did we start this? Year and a half?
About two years, 2.5 years. Wow. Yeah.
It still feels like an experiment, like we just started, but I actually kind of feel a little bit more nestled into it and comfortable with it, comfortable with my uncomfortableness.
I'm getting there. I'm a work in progress.
We all are.
Yeah.
You're not going to end. That's the life, baby.
That's it. Well, we love you guys. We love you guys very much. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you're feeling great. I hope good things happen to you, and I hope you eat food you like. And I hope that food is particularly healthy for you. It's okay to have a little bit of naughty food every now and then, but if you're eating Twinkies every day, you're going to die soon, and your family's going to be really sad, so don't do it.
Ben and Jerry's half-baked.
Oh, no, don't say that.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, I said it to myself. That's the worst part. That I said that to myself. Dang it. Now I have to wrestle with that desire. All right, guys. we'll talk to you next time.
Love you guys.
Bye. Bye. It's like, dang it. I said it.